The problem: Dolby Atmos keeps dropping to stereo PCM. If you have a PC, a Samsung soundbar, and a TV in the same HDMI chain, you may have run into a frustrating issue. Your Dolby Atmos audio randomly remaps to plain stereo PCM. This happens during HDMI CEC, EARC, and EDID negotiation. Atmos only works reliably when the PC negotiates directly with the soundbar first. If the TV wakes up at the same time as the soundbar via CEC, it can hijack the handshake and force a lower audio format. Downgrading the Dolby Atmos app does not fix this. The root cause is HDMI timing and handshake order, not the app. Why this happens, EDID and CEC explained. The EDID handshake is negotiated between the source and the first HDMI device in the chain. That device advertises which audio formats it supports. If the soundbar is the active sync when the PC initializes audio, the PC sends Atmos, True HD, or Dolby Digital Plus. But if the TV is active or wakes at the same time via CEC, it advertises a simpler audio profile, and Windows ends up sending stereo PCM. The Dolby Atmos app version is irrelevant here. You cannot patch a timing and handshake problem with a software update. The fix: power on order matters. The solution is simple, but must be done consistently. Wake the PC first, then power on the soundbar, then turn on the TV last. When the PC is already awake, it will attempt to initialize audio and negotiate with the first active HDMI audio sync it detects. If the soundbar becomes active after the PC renegotiates and the soundbar becomes the active sync for Atmos. If the TV wakes before the soundbar is ready, it forces a stereo or PCM profile instead. Solution 1. Manual power sequence. For a quick, no-cost fix, follow this manual sequence. Step 1. Wake the PC via Wake on LAN or manually. Wait 10 to 20 seconds for Windows and the audio subsystem to fully initialize. Step 2. Turn the soundbar on and wait 5 to 12 seconds for it to fully boot. Step 3. Turn the TV on last. In Windows Sound Settings, set the soundbar as your default playback device and enable Exclusive Mode under Device Properties. In your media player, pot player, MPC, or VLC, set audio output to Wasapi Exclusive. In LAV Audio, enable Pass-Through for True HD, Dolby Digital Plus, and DTS HD. Solution 2. Automate with a script. If you want a hands-off solution, automate the power sequence. After the PC wakes, a Windows Task Scheduler script sends a SmartThings command to power on the soundbar, then polls SmartThings until the soundbar confirms it is on. Once confirmed, the TV can be powered last, either by the script or manually. This approach is more reliable than a fixed delay because it confirms the soundbar state before proceeding. You can adapt this using Broadlink or IR blasters if you don't use SmartThings. Key improvements to add: logging for debugging, retries if the soundbar doesn't respond, and a timeout of at least 60 seconds. Solution 3. Hardware bypass. For a permanent fix, connect the PC directly to the soundbar via HDMI, bypassing the TV in the negotiation chain entirely. If your GPU has two HDMI outputs, use one to connect directly to the soundbar. If your GPU only has DisplayPort, use a quality active DP to HDMI adapter. Passive adapters often fail to pass full EDID or multi-channel audio. Then connect the soundbar's ARC or EARC output to the TV. This way, the TV cannot remap the audio profile. One important caveat: connecting via DP to HDMI or a second HDMI port can create a phantom display in Windows, requiring some display configuration. For a completely clean setup with no phantom display, use an EDID emulator or an HDMI switch with a fixed EDID profile. Additional tips and hardware options. A few extra tips to lock things in. Use an EDD emulator or HDMI switch with fixed EDID to force a stable multi-channel profile and prevent the TV from auto-switching. Disable CEC audio auto-switching on your TV. Look for settings called AnyNet Plus, Bravia Sync, or Simplink, and set the TV audio output to external speaker or audio system. Keep TV, soundbar, and GPU firmware and drivers updated. Use a high-quality HDMI 2.1 cable for EARC. And be aware, if you route PC through the soundbar to the TV for pass-through, many soundbars cap pass-through at 60 Hz on HDMI 2.0, which may limit your display refresh rate. Higher-end models like the Q990F support up to 120 Hz on HDMI 2.1. Final notes and takeaways. To summarize, the Dolby Atmos dropout is caused by HDMI EDID and CEC timing, not the Dolby app. The fix is controlling wake order, PC first, then soundbar, then TV. You can do this manually, automate it with Task Scheduler and SmartThings, or eliminate the problem entirely with a direct hardware connection. This was tested and verified on Samsung soundbars. Results may vary on other brands. If you go the hardware route, be aware of phantom display behavior and refresh rate limitations. Choose the solution that fits your setup and enjoy reliable Atmos Passthrough.